There are places not everyone is allowed to enter. Not because of fences, but because of the walls we've built within ourselves. This is the deepest part of the journey, where the map ends and the legends begin. Where mountains have no names, where lakes don't reflect the sky, but mirror our memories. Where caves echo not with outside sounds, but with voices from the depths of the mind. Part 5 is the step across the final threshold, between man and myth, between reality and the subconscious. Not to admire outer beauty anymore, but to face the forgotten truths hidden within us all. Inner Mongolia, a northern land of China where there are no longer dense forests or towering mountains, only an endless steppe stretching all the way to the horizon. A vast and silent world where the wind blows tirelessly through the day and life clings to the earth with a quiet, steady breath. Here, Mongolian culture still lives on, not in museums or books, but in the sound of hoofbeats pounding the ground, in the quiet presence of white round yurts scattered across the plains, and in a way of life tied deeply to the sky above the soft grass in the morning dew. At the heart of this land lies Hulunbuir, hailed as the most beautiful grassland in China. In summer, its green meadows unfurl like an immense carpet, where Lake Hulun, spanning over 2,000 square kilometers, silently mirrors the clouds' distant mountains and herds of livestock grazing leisurely by the shore. It was from this very land that a young boy grew into Genghis Khan. He once rode across deserts over snowy mountains and reached the farthest corners of Asia and Europe. But it all began from grass, wind, and the humble white tents of Inner Mongolia. Traces of the 13th century remain stone tombs resting quietly in the field's grasslands that once served as training grounds and old yurts where warriors once slept before heading out on conquests. Today, Inner Mongolia is more peaceful. The Mongolian people still lead a nomadic life, herding sheep, riding horses, drinking hot tea inside their yurts. This way of life has changed little through time, simple, free, and as profound as the land itself. In the 6th lunar month, the Autumn Festival unfolds across the grasslands. People gather to race horses, wrestle, and shoot arrows, the 3 oldest skills of steppe warriors. Cheers echo beneath the sky, hoofbeats strike the ground, and the grass seems to sway with the memory of a glorious past. The cuisine reflects the raw essence of this land. Lamb roasted over coal, rich and savory. Fermented yogurt, tangy and smooth. And Mongolian milk tea, hot, salty, buttery enough to warm a wanderer's heart after a long day beneath the sun. To the Mongolian people, the steppe is a god. They believe the heavens gave them this land to nurture courage, strength, and an unyielding spirit. At the start of the grazing season, they hold ceremonies to honor the grass deity, offering milk, wine, and songs carried into the wind. No need for loud prayers, only honesty and a song that echoes far. Scattered across the plains are nomadic villages, white yurts lying still like punctuation marks in an ocean of grass. Nearby, the Mongolian Museum preserves ancient memories, instruments, armor, saddles, and stories that were never written down. Legend says the steppe is the robe of the sky god. Those born here will have a chest as wide as the wind and a soul as vast as the boundless plains. Standing in the middle of Inner Mongolia, you don't see limits. You feel the wind touch your face, the hoofbeats echo in your chest, and the sense that true freedom still exists. Inner Mongolia is not a place to simply observe. It's a place to ride a white horse and gallop toward a horizon with nothing ahead but the sky, the grassland, and your own self. On the southern edge of Hainan Island, where the last wild grasses brush the sea's edge, Yalong Bay emerges. Quiet, warm, and so beautiful it feels almost unreal. The beach stretches for 7 kilometers, curving gently like a soft smile on the face of the earth, where every grain of fine white sand rests silently beneath the footsteps of wanderers. Beyond the shore, the tropical forest whispers in the breeze, as if singing along with the rhythm of the waves. And beneath the water so clear, you can see straight to the bottom lies another world vibrant. Coral reefs, schools of tiny fish drifting like living ribbons, sparkling beneath sunlight and the sea's soft murmur. Once a wild land untouched by man, Yalong Bay began to step into the light in the 1990s. Luxury resorts and hidden villas nestled under palm trees began to rise along the coast. But curiously, nature was not devoured. Pockets of wilderness remain, where only the wind, the sun, and the salty breath of the ocean exist. Living near the bay are the Li people, an indigenous group rooted on this island for thousands of years. They sing weave live close to the sea and worship the wave god like one would revere a mother. During the favorable wind season, they hold sea offerings, bringing grilled fish, wildflowers, coconut wine, and ancient songs, no instruments, just the voice of the soul. Each melody sent out on the wind feels like a dialogue spanning millennia between humans and water. The cuisine here carries the spirit of the sea, simple, fresh, unpretentious, and deeply satisfying. Grilled shrimp over charcoal, tender wild greens, and fresh-cut coconut water beneath the palm canopy. And after the meal, a cup of light, fragrant Hainan tea, sweet and calming, leaving the heart as still as the sea after a long day. On the edges of Yalong lies a tropical park with forest trails, murmuring creeks, and butterflies in every color. Further out stands an ancient Li village where looms still echo with morning weaving, and wooden houses rest beside stone wells as if untouched by time. To the locals, the sea is not a view. It is a living being, a gentle mother who embraces the island, bestowing calm rains, fresh fish, and peace. The elders say Yalong is home to the sea god, which is why storms have never struck this place. There is only mild wind, golden sunlight, and waves that lap like an endless lullaby. People come to Yalong not just to lie in the sun, but to listen to the sea, to feel the salt breeze, and to remember that sometimes amid a rushing life, a quiet moment simply to stand still and breathe is its own form of happiness. Yalong Bay doesn't dazzle with grand spectacle. It whispers gently like an invitation from nature itself. And once you hear that whisper, you rarely forget it. Beneath veils of mist and in forests untouched by human noise, Wudang emerges like another world where martial arts are not symbols of power, but expressions of a tranquil spirit. This sacred mountain located in Hubei province is a major center of Chinese Taoism, where faith and nature have shaped a tradition that spans thousands of years. The Wudang Range has 72 peaks rising and falling like the spine of a giant dragon slumbering in the wilderness. Ancient palaces and temples curve along the slopes, clinging to cliffs appearing and vanishing through the fog, not built to impress, but to blend into heaven and earth. Since the 15th century, Wudang has been revered as a Taoist sanctuary, and from this spiritual soil, a martial art was born, Tai Chi Chuan, which transforms hardness with softness, calms movement with stillness, and draws strength from inner peace. Legend tells that Zhang Sanfeng, founder of Tai Chi, lived in seclusion here for 9 years. A dream of dragons soaring through clouds revealed to him a system of martial philosophy rooted deeply in the Tao. Even today at dawn, you can see Taoist monks in gray robes slowly practicing in the pine forest. Their movements are soft as water, yet each gesture imprints the air gentle, deep, and immovable. At the highest peak stands the Golden Hall Jade Emperor Temple. Reaching it each step is not just a rise in altitude, but a retreat from the dust of the world. Halfway up the mountain is Zixiao Palace, dedicated to the Northern Star Lord, now a meditation hub where practitioners gather with hearts as still as the mountains themselves. In spring, grand Taoist festivals fill the mountains with light and reverence. Lanterns are lit, blessings are offered, floating petals drift down crystal streams, and Tai Chi demonstrations unfold on ancient stone terraces. As traditional music echoes through the forest, the cuisine reflects a life of simplicity. Steamed tofu made from mountain spring water, rice wine fermented with wild herbs, chrysanthemum tea picked from the hillsides. Each taste is modest, but every sip soothes both body and soul. The locals live in harmony with nature. They speak softly, eat lightly, walk slowly. There's no need to rush. Why go anywhere else when the heart is already still? Mountain trails wind through the scent of pine and the distant toll of temple bells. When the wind moves through the forest, one doesn't just hear the wind, but hears oneself. Wudang does not teach how to defeat others. It teaches how to return inward to where true peace resides. Here, the Tao martial arts and nature are not separate. They flow as one, like a silent stream leading you back to your essence. And those who have once walked these paths will never walk the same again. Zhouzhuang appears like an ancient watercolor painting that never dried a place where memory doesn't fade, but quietly drifts along curved rooftops, mossy stone bridges, and water still as glass. Nestled in the fertile plains of the Yangtze River Delta, this is one of China's oldest water towns, often affectionately called the Venice of the East. But Zhouzhuang has never needed to resemble anyone else. It stands serene in its own beauty, where winding canals embrace each home, each narrow alley like ancient arms still sheltering what they love. Founded during the Song dynasty, Zhouzhuang was once a bustling hub of trade. Silk tea rice boats laden with goods once sailed through its dense canal networks, connecting the water realms of Jiangsu province. Centuries have passed, but more than half of its ancient buildings still remain not like a museum, but as if untouched by time's current. The Shanjuan Bridge still arches gracefully like a ribbon between two banks mirrored in the still water below. The Shen family residence still holds its stone-paved courtyard, traditional rooftops, and intricately carved wooden doors. Dating back to the 14th century, the wood weathered, but the memories unblemished. By day, the town is quiet like a summer afternoon nap. But when the sun dips behind tiled roofs, Zhouzhuang glows with life. Red lanterns line the canals. The night market buzzes with voices, and soft opera from a wooden house carries across the water. The locals still live by the slow rhythm of water weaving silk, crafting lanterns, brewing tea. Each canal is seen as a stream of good fortune, and the flow of every waterway is guided by feng shui meant to guard the peace of this quiet town. On the night of the Lantern Festival, Zhouzhuang turns into a dream. People float glowing lanterns on the canals, each one carrying a wish for the new year. The lanterns drift away, but the wishes remain, painting soft light across the water surface. Zhouzhuang doesn't rush to win your heart. It doesn't call for urgency. Just sit in a wooden boat drifting slowly on a moonless night. Watch lanterns ripple in the water. Listen to the creak of old wood as someone crosses a stone bridge. And you will understand time doesn't pass here. It settles. Zhouzhuang is for those who are willing to live slowly, for those who find beauty in a mossy wall, in a steaming pot of tea at dawn, or in a quiet afternoon that needs no alarm. Only the soft sound of water brushing gently against the side of a boat, and that too is enough. Wuyi emerges like a gentle symphony between mountains, forests, and the art of tea. A place where every breeze and every stream carries the scent of tea and a layer of memory etched in stone. Located in the northwest of Fujian province, it is one of those rare lands where nature, history, and spirituality do not stand apart, but are entwined, flowing together like an ancient river. At the heart of Wuyi lies the nine-bend river Zhouzhuang, its water curling like a soft green ribbon, quietly slipping through primeval forests and weaving between sheer red cliffs. Sitting on a bamboo raft, drifting through its 9 bends, feels like leafing through chapters of a water-bound scripture, each curve a whispered verse from heaven and earth. But Wuyi is more than a landscape. It is the spiritual capital of Chinese tea culture, a land where tea is not a commodity, but a soul. Since the Song dynasty, tea leaves from here have traveled across Asia carrying the fragrance of the mountains and the quiet resolve of artisans who say little but create the extraordinary. Among the revered names, the Hongpao stands sacred. Known as the King of Oolong, it grows from cliff faces believed to be touched by deities. Legend has it that this tea once healed imperial illness. But for true tea lovers, its worth lies deeper in serenity, vitality, and a way of living that cannot be named. In Wuyi, growing tea is a ritual. Each leaf is hand-picked before the morning mist fades. Every step, wilting, rolling, drying, is done by hand, passed down through generations. Not from books, but from breath. It is a deep intuition, one that takes a lifetime to grasp. Come spring, the whole mountain is fragrant with new tea. The tea festival is held by the river. Elders tell stories of tea and mountain gods. The young perform lion dances and folk songs on bamboo stages. And among music, river sounds, and the aroma of tea, everyone holds a warm cup, sipping slowly to understand deeply. Even the cuisine continues this connection between land and spirit. River fish from the 9 bends steam with wild ginger, soft glutinous rice cakes, and of course layers of oolong teas, each with its own note, as if steeped in the forest memory. High above, hidden among trees, is the Tianchi Temple. Locals come not only to worship the mountain gods, but to pray for a season of harmonious rain and wind. They believe the gods can sense sincerity if the prayer is soft enough and the tea fragrant enough. Faith here is a blend of Taoism, Buddhism, and reverence for natural spirits. Every rock, every stream, every tea plant is believed to house a deity, not named, not carved in stone, but present in human respect and quiet awe. The Wuyi paths pass through old villages, ancient wooden homes where tea culture lives, not in ceremony but in daily gestures, offering a guest a cup sitting in stillness as steam curls upward, each a quiet lesson in mindfulness. The people of Wuyi live slowly. They believe a good cup of tea requires time, fire, and a peaceful heart. So this is not a place for the hurried. Wuyi is a place to sit in the morning mist holding a steaming cup and let the stillness return. As light as the first fragrance of tea, and yet once it enters the mind, it never leaves. And so, upon reaching the edge of the map, we realize what truly needs exploring isn't out there in the unknown, but deep within ourselves. The places we avoid, the memories left unspoken, the beliefs long faded. Part 5 doesn't end with a full stop, but with a quiet reflection on the journey behind us and the person we've become. Because ahead, in Part 6, there are no longer lines between reality and myth. This is where every veil is lifted, where unexplained phenomena, ruins that defy history, and secrets from the skies are waiting to be heard. We will no longer travel just to see, but to believe.